And the injury to McDermott kind of also forces the issue with depth along the tackle group. And there's not a lot there. And in attendance for the green and white scrimmage was Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. Dwayne Brown at joining this team, quite honestly, would be bigger than Morgan Moses joining it last year. I fully believe that. This guy is a multi-year Pro Bowler. He has been a stalwart in the NFL for as many years as he's been in it. He's durable. He's experienced. He's another big body type of tackle that matches what they already have in their starters in Fant and Becton that can be a mentor for them. He's also former teammates with George Fant. And he already knows him from his time in Seattle. He knows DJ Reed as well. Mm-hmm. So he's got some familiarity with the players that are here. He knows Coach Saleh, who knows him from Coach Saleh was in Houston as I think he was the linebacker coach when he was drafted by the Texans. Obviously, spent some time in Seattle, played against him when he was in Seattle with the 49ers. There's some history there. This is the solidifier, if not close to it, but about as good as we can hope for before the season starts for our tackle depth. And it's one of the main lacking depth spots on the team because Joe Douglas has done such a good job of building this roster. You get Dwayne Brown in. We need to be very clear about this. He's never played a snap of right tackle in his life in the NFL.
Yeah.
He will be Fant's backup at left tackle. That then frees either Edoga, McDermott, Max Mitchell, any of that group to stick on the right side, fully practice on the right side, and be dedicated to be Mekhi Becton's backup at right tackle. That way, right now, you have a counterpoint?
I am not completely sure of that. What happens if Becton goes down, for instance, and would they feel more confident in using Edoga or Mitchell at right tackle, or would they maybe throw a little bit more disruption into the mix, move Fant over to right tackle and put Brown in at left tackle?
I think that's a possibility, but my only thing with that is they just saw how much better Fant was at left tackle than right tackle, enough so to move Mekhi. So if that happens, is Fant at right tackle still better than the guys you have backing up your right tackles? And that's the question, is Fant at right tackle better than Becton at right tackle? That's like, that to me is kind of right. But I'm sitting here thinking they have Fant on the left side for a reason.
Yes.
I feel like in the middle of the year, for however long an injury might be to Becton, moving Fant over, having him play on the right side where he hasn't been practicing, also coming off an injury, and having Dwayne Brown slide in at left tackle, I feel like it is not going to be any better than the guys that you're going to have as dedicated backups and might end up being worse.
Yeah, if that's how they feel, then yeah, absolutely. Just keep him at left. I mean, it kind of really limits the Brown signing. Well, he hasn't signed yet, but if he's only Fant's backup, I feel like that's kind of limiting. Has anybody said anything about him maybe being swing?
I haven't seen anything that said he will or won't. I just know that he has never played right tackle.
Yeah.
And that to me doesn't seem like now would be the time for him to start doing it. I think it would be more logical, considering they need depth on both sides, that they would have a guy they know is a dedicated good left tackle to keep as their left tackle.
Yeah.
And have him be Fant's backup, especially because Fant's not healthy either. No. And that's kind of the other thing we have to realize here is both of our starting tackles are on pitch counts right now. We're 5 weeks from the season. That Fant hasn't even gone through a full day of practice yet. We're 5 weeks from the season. If anything, I think we're worried about Fant. And so we're bringing Dwayne Brown in, hopefully assuming he signs, as the backup tackle to Fant in case Fant gets hurt or he's not ready and or he can't, has a setback and isn't cleared for week 1 or something disastrous that happens. This is Fant insurance to me.
So I have I take issue with saying that it's a Fant issue more than it's just we need depth issue,
That's fair.
because I as we know, as of right now, Fant will be our starter week 1, barring an injury. So they have enough confidence in these two tackles between him and Becton to say that they will be starting, and that's what it is. And as of right now, I believe Fant to be a lot better than Brown. Brown definitely offers a lot. He's been a great starter for a long time now. But at this point in their careers, I believe Fant, if he could pull off what he did last year, is a better left tackle option. And I got into this argument yesterday, where you have a guy like Lawson who's also coming off an injury. How they're might be more worried about Lawson getting injured than maybe Franklin Myers. And I would say yes, they probably are a little bit more concerned because yes, they are more likely to be re-injured. But at the same time, the solution to that is the same as the solution to the problem of JFM getting injured, is depth. So really, we just need depth. It doesn't really matter who it is. It just needs to be somebody that has the ability to come in off the bench and be an adequate starter in this league for however long we need him. And Brown definitely offers that.
Yeah, he does. And I think you made a great point, and that I do think that the idea is that Brown will be left tackle backup and will be LT2 in the event that Fant were to go down. But you're right, it is more about depth. It is more about having insurance plans and having things ready in case of an injury in a violent sport with players that are facing contact on every snap. So I agree that it's overall it is about depth, and having Dwayne Brown added in, assuming it happens, will help the depth on the right side as well. Like I said earlier, by giving those guys that are left, whoever it ends up moving to be dedicated to that side, time to work on just that side.
Yeah.
And however much that's an improvement, it's going to be an improvement. And would it be as much as signing another multi-year starter Pro Bowler right tackle to be Mekhi Becton's backup? No. But the best you can do in August and getting a former Pro Bowler to be your backup, well, I agree. I think Fant is the better option right now with youth and how well he played last year factored in. But you could do a heck of a lot worse than Dwayne Brown as a backup left tackle.
A lot worse.
And you could do a heck of a lot worse of a combination of a backup of a right tackles of Adoga, McDermott, and Max Mitchell. That's not ideal, but we're talking about backups, and we still have options at backup. It's not like all of our eggs are now on Chuma Adoga's basket saying if something happens to Becton, we only have Chuma Adoga, and if that's it and if he can't do well, we're screwed. They have some time to work things out, and I really think it's going to be a huge deal. I really hope this happens. It seems like all signs were pointing to it happening. I'd be kind of surprised at this point if it doesn't. So I really hope that it ends up happening, because I think it's going to be one of the last missing pieces to finalizing this roster before the season starts.
Yeah, we're recording this on Sunday, and as of right now, I hear that Dwayne Brown is still in the building meeting with the team. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like there's a lot of interest on both sides. So I really hope they get this done in the next day or maybe even later today. And we don't need to worry about it anymore. And then I can comfortably say that every position on our offense has the starters and the depth behind them to be comfortable with. I can't say that so much for the defense because I still worry about the interior defensive line depth. But I think if that's the only position is interior defensive line, I think that's a win overall in team building.
It absolutely is 110%.